To make sure you never miss out on an episode, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. And now, let's get on to some random Star Wars.
Hello there.
Do the film titles matter to me? I don't know really, because I grew up as an original trilogy kid, so I knew these films mostly by their titles. Although, as a young kid, I just knew A New Hope as Star Wars, but I knew Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Years later, prequels come about. I was 25 or 24 when Phantom Menace came out, or certainly when I found out when the title was going to be called. And for those, I think this trilogy was kind of the strangest title relationship to the actual film, and I've always referred to them as episodes 1, 2, and 3. Really, Attack of the Clones, I think, is probably, as we've seen Ewan McGregor had fun laughing at the title when he found out what it was called. It's not a particularly great title, but it doesn't really matter in that sense. What matters a little is the fact that it's actually a misleading title. Attack of the Clones is not really what happened in the film. If anything, it was Attack of the Droids. But I digress. It doesn't really matter. It was. It didn't stop it from being still a good film. Admittedly, not my favourite of the Star Wars films. So that's still Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. However, and when it comes to the sequel trilogy, yes, we've got the titles, and these two are actually the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. They're pretty apt titles, and of course, Rogue One and Solo. You couldn't really have picked better titles for those films. So we'll have to see. I mean, we'll see. It's as these stories become more episodic in nature, especially now we're going into we're going to end up doing more television probably than films. Then the titles maybe will fall a bit by the wayside. By saying that, I don't actually mean. I don't think titles are going to disappear, and everything will be untitled. It's just it won't matter as much. Like, for instance, take the Clone Wars. My son's favourite episode is the first, what we call a proper episode, the one that's set after what became the film. Is the episode with Yoda. I can't even remember what that one's called. I just think of it as the Yoda episode. And then sometimes you think of arcs like, obviously Mortis arc, or I'd think of, say, like the Chewbacca episode. So let me know what you think about this. Do you like the titles? Are they important to you? Are they not important to you? So, I mean, going back to the whole thing with the prequel titles, one important note to make is the fact that I think they really represented what George Lucas is really inspired by, which is the whole Flash Gordon serials. So, and I think those titles, apart from Revenge of the Sith, really represented that. Of course, I'm recording this before the title for episode 9 is dropped, so we could be having a completely different discussion in a few weeks or a couple of months, or whenever that's going to happen. Because of course we probably are going to discuss this as fans. We're going to discuss this kind of thing to death because it's what we do.